Oh, hey, I just want to add some context to the video this morning because some people brought up some really good stuff. I had forgotten about Peter Molyneux and the Cube. Remember that? That's a good example of a piece of art made by a game developer that was supposed to be a limited time. And I know there was some problems at the end, but it was a cool idea of like this limited time event that had an ending and then went away. And it's cool to have an historical document of that, but you wouldn't really preserve that game. And sometimes when we talk about owning the game, for me, it's just not about did I pay for the game, but like in that case, I expended effort. I put time into the game. So like you might grind on a game, right, to earn something inside of it. That's in a way money and an exchange of time and goods, and right, like that gets fuzzy to me as well. A really good point that the person didn't quite connect it all the way to, but they brought it up on YouTube was about MP3s and you know how ubiquitous they were. Of like MP3s, we're gonna have these forever. These are always how I'm gonna have my music. I remember getting Yahoo Music, which was the Spotify before Spotify that the cool kids knew about, and Rhapsody, because both of those you could rip the download because you actually downloaded. You didn't stream. You downloaded them and you could rip them into MP3s. And I just thought, well, this is my backup, and this is how I counter not owning the music that I think I'm paying for. But I was thinking about that. If I had an MP3 in my car, I don't know how I would play it. I mean, I'm sure there's ways, and you're gonna call me out on it, and that's fine. But yeah, that is a strange thing. And so that's a fair thing then to say about Steam of like, as we thought MP3s were gonna be forever, and that was the way that you owned your stuff. Saying that about Steam is probably not fair, or at least, like I said, we should make some solid rules around it, right? Another thing is about copyright, and especially confusing copyright and confusing publisher ownership. And this is a good one because, first of all, if we remove copyright and just put it out there, large corporations will take it over and they'll ruin it, because then it becomes a thing about capturing eyeballs and it becomes about user acquisition and not about the specialty of what was created. And that's why copyright protects the little guy from the big guy, and it's important. That's why if we just make everything open source, big companies are just going to come in and screw it over and ruin it, right? We see that again and again. Like that's a problem. Someone's talking about just releasing the source code. We have to stop thinking about games as just code. Games are the entire experience of art, code, music, all coming together. So no, the source code alone won't do it for you. And releasing the source code is probably going to be the hardest thing, because you have third-party engines that you don't own. You have a bunch of other stuff that you don't own that makes it up. People don't realize libraries being used and everything else. That's probably not the answer you think it is. But it's easy to say. And again, this is one of those things of like, at first blush, a lot of these things make like, oh yeah, release all the source code, until you delve into it or you have an understanding of it, and then it doesn't make as much sense. Something someone didn't bring up, but we were just discussing the right to be forgotten and how European law does favor consumer rights way more than American law, because there is less influence by corporations, but there still is some. And that person didn't bring it up, so I'll bring it up, where Australian return policy is what shaped Steam's return policy and shaped global policy. And I was going to go look it up. As someone who was there at the time, I don't remember why that one was so unnerving that we couldn't get over it. And so if you remember, the original Left 4 Dead got banned by Australia. And actually, to good over how they did ratings, a lot of people used Left 4 Dead as a way to kind of protest, and they protested as zombies. And we were actually going to reward Australia, and I was going to go to one of the Australia packs and give away Left 4 Dead there as a thank you. But we were in the middle of the controversy of the return, and so the lawyers were like, let's wait. And like, we never got into it. So Australia is a place I've actually never been, nor its make-believe cousin, New Zealand. It's not a real place. That's why Gabe says he's there, because it's not a real place. You don't know where he is. But so yeah, that's an interesting case, because that had such a big, giant influence across the board for everybody. Along the way of MP3, someone brought up GameSpy, and I just got to bring up GameSpy. If you're not old enough to remember, back in the day, how we all connected to each other was GameSpy. It was a third-party software that, my God, it's going to be the future. It's going to take over everything. Ooh, yeah, it didn't. Oh, and back to the confusing copyright. The reason why I say confusing copyright, because some stuff, like, I don't know if you ever played the game Myth that came out by Bungie. It's one of our favorite games, but they can't make any more sequels because of the clouded ownership of who owns it. Between, I think it's Sony, Bungie, Microsoft, and maybe Activision. Like, it's a real messy thing. So that sucks. And then there's a couple housekeeping things. If you yelled at me that I purposely didn't answer the question that you didn't ask, and then you don't ask it in the question, I'm just going to block you. Like, back in the day, we all knew little Timmy on the street, right? Little Timmy who would swear at fire trucks and chase cars and was just kind of not all there. And we all knew not to take little Timmy seriously and engage with him. So when you act like that, I just figure you're little Timmy. Like, you can be a disappointment to your mom. You don't need to be a disappointment to me. We'll skip that one. Also, the idea of I'm a corporate sellout. If I can get a check for this, let's go. Me and Eric, 25 years ago, I was trying to look it up. I don't think this one was saved when we moved over. But we actually, at one time, Old Man Murray, we sold out the entire site to NVIDIA. We just did a whole takeover. Everything was NVIDIA, even though NVIDIA hadn't given us a dime. And then we asked for money from NVIDIA. We sold out first. Now let's get money. Yeah, that didn't work. And the other thing, I want to be really clear on this one, is there's a lot of like, do better because you think you're like this elder spokesman or whatever. No, that's you saying that. I always say I'm not. I say the opposite. When I work with young developers or new developers, I'm like, no, I'm working with you because I'm learning from you. There's not a hierarchy of developers. There's not like some golden old man who knows right. No, hell no. Everything's changing all the time. This is a really dynamic, always changing industry. So I'm always like, is TikTok still the right thing to be doing? I don't know. Maybe is Discord the right? Like, no, I do not do that. That is you placing it on me and then getting mad. And you do that because instead of having an argument that you can disagree with me, you talk that way about it, right? Which is weird. It's the same thing of like, when you talk about me in third person in the comments, when I'm responding to the comments, I'm like, yeah, I'm an old man yapping. I'm older than you. If you don't like that, you can just block me. It works. And also, by the way, there is a YouTube block plugin for Chrome, and I use that now. And I thank whoever suggested that because that has made YouTube way better for me. Not about the people that come to my site, but the people that I have to see and be like, why every time I look at a game video, I have to start seeing these people? I don't see them anymore. It's awesome. So thank you. And again, thank you for the discussions for the past couple of videos. Have been really interesting to me because, again, this is an interesting topic. And I think bringing up some of this and some of the stuff I forget, like, how do I forget the Peter Molyneux cube? Yeah. It's good stuff, right? It's a complicated thing. And again, technology is always changing. So even if we get a solution now, what is a thing that actually is a solution for long term?